Hey guys, today I'm sharing how to make Italian meringue. So in the world of meringue, there are big three, which is French meringue, Italian meringue, and Swiss meringue. Those are the most popular ones, and Italian meringue is definitely the one that you want to master to make a variety of desserts such as mousse or entremets, buttercream, macarons, or as decorations, and so on. And today I'll share 5 most crucial tips for you to make it successfully without failing. I'll show you step by step all the way, and in the end I'm thinking we can make cute little snacks together, which is meringue crunch. It is super easy to make and it's perfect as a gift for someone or as one by dessert for a party. So let's get started.
So the very first step is to make sure that your bowl is dry and clean with no water, no oil, or any dirt. Especially water and oil can prevent egg whites to get whipped up well. Egg yolks contains oil, so make sure your egg whites has no egg yolks mixed in. Even a tiny bit of yolks can hugely affect the result, and the meringue will not get fluffy enough, so be careful with that. The second tip is to whip egg white really well before adding syrup. This is to make sure your meringue will be nice and stiff when it's done. I know some recipes say whip egg whites until it's frothy, but the thing is, the less you whip, the softer your meringue will be. I personally like to whip well because I like to have a very fluffy meringue for any of my dessert. But just like when you whip heavy cream, do not whip way too much up until the point that your egg whites start separating and breaking down. If you do that, your meringue will not be super smooth. You will see when it breaks down, it doesn't look smooth and looks grainy. I'll show you when it's done, but let's keep whipping for now. And while it's being whipped, I heat up a syrup at the same time. Add all the sugar and water in the pan. Make sure all the sugar is dissolved. And brush the side of your pan with water to make sure your sugar is not going to crystallize while heating. And do that 1 or 2 times while it's heated as well. And heat up with medium heat until it reaches to 117 to 119 Celsius, which is about 243 to 246 Fahrenheit, which is my third tip. The common temperature is 118 Celsius, which is 244 Fahrenheit. But here is the thing. The lower the temperature is, the softer your meringue will be. And the higher the temperature is, the stiffer your meringue will be. So in the end, it is up to you. But I will not recommend to heat up the temperature more than 120 Celsius, which is 248 Fahrenheit. Because the syrup will be so thick that it will not get blended well into the egg whites and create sugar pieces everywhere, which makes it look really grainy and taste grainy too. So watch this and pay attention to how the bubbles are moving. The higher the temperature gets, the slower the bubble starts moving and the bigger they get. Also, the bubble size goes down a little bit as the temperature goes up. So let's pay attention here.
It is right now 105 Celsius. So not quite there yet. And it is right now 110 Celsius. Getting close, and it is right now 115 Celsius, so it's almost there. 116, 117. Okay, let's wait until 118 Celsius today. All right, now 118, so let's stop right now.
This is how 118 Celsius syrup looks like, which is 244 Fahrenheit. And when the syrup is done, ideally your egg whites is ready as well. So you kind of have to adjust the timing. This is nice and fluffy, very stiff. And right after the syrup is done, we add it in the egg whites, but I wait just a second until the boiling slows down, just like this. And my fourth tip is to add your syrup slowly along the side of your bowl. This is very important too. If you pour it directly onto the whisk, for example, it could scatters everywhere on the side, or if you pour near it on top, it could sink on the bottom of your bowl. By adding along the side of your bowl, it slowly goes down and the whisk pick them up evenly. Also, if you add it too fast, your egg whites might get cooked partially because the syrup is super hot and some of them can sink on the bottom. Also, make sure your mixer is on high speed while you are pouring it so that everything will be blended nicely before the syrup starts getting hardened. Now it's all added, so just keep whipping with high speed. Once it starts cooling down, it gets thicker even more. So just keep going. And here is how you can check if your syrup is ready without a thermometer. I know that a lot of you want to know this too. Drop the syrup into an ice water. This is with 118 Celsius syrup, by the way, and it forms a ball in ice water like this. When you touch it, it's flexible, not too soft, not too firm, has this nice consistency. And my fifth tip is to keep whipping until it cools down. So depending on the amount of your meringue, it takes a while to get cooled down. Today it is a lot of amount, so it will take some time, but do not stop whipping while it's still very warm because your meringue is not stable yet because it's not whipped enough. Also, if you keep whipping too long, instead the bottom starts going down and collapsing. So keep whipping until the meringue is slightly warm or room temperature. You could directly touch the meringue and check, or you can also check by touching the bowl, which how I do. It should be warm or slightly warm. And here's how it should look like. It's stiff and elastic. When you dip your whisk and it pulls up, the tip curls up like this, but it's very stiff and holds the shape. It is fluffy, has a nice bottom. I recommend to use it right after it's ready since it can slowly lose the stability in room temperature. And now let's make meringue crunch using this Italian meringue. I added a few drops of pink coloring and it was too neon color for me, so I added another few drops of red coloring. And it looks warmer and I liked it much better. Drop on a plastic wrap and wrap and twist the edge. By the way, I forgot this time, but before twisting, I recommend to toss the wrap a couple times to remove the air gaps that you see here.
Edge. Insert.
And today I used this small star tip. And I'm just gonna keep piping these cute little drops. And today with the one batch of the recipe, I got lots of meringue as you saw, so I only used about a quarter of the amount for them, just to give you an idea of how much you can make with one batch of the recipe. Bake with 100 to 105 Celsius, which is about 210 to 220 Fahrenheit. For today, it took about 1 hour for the sides, but always check by touching the surface. It shouldn't feel soft and feel solid.
Mommy, what's that?
This is such a quick gift to make and easy to carry around in the bag, which I love, and you don't need to keep them in the fridge, so it is such a stress-free snacks. But if you don't eat it within a day, I recommend you to add silica gels, which looks like this, in the bag or in a container to keep them dried because they can get humid and lose some crunchiness. I'll leave the link of where you can get them on the description below. As you can see under her nose, she was a little bit sick that day. Her nose was running the whole day, so I felt so sorry for her. But it was such a nice treat for her. She really enjoyed eating them. And isn't that sound so amazing? That crunch sound, it's so amazing. I should make a whole ASMR video of just us eating it.
What's that?
Meringue crunch. Alright guys, so let me know if you tried making it at home and how it turned out, and if you have any question, feel free to drop on a comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video all about beautiful pastries from scratch. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way till the end. I really appreciate, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.